Welcome to the war. Okay, I'm going to try and record a sort of director's commentary over my trip to Valley Forge for Cold Wars 2023. One of the things I love about this convention is going down and seeing the onset of spring. It's always a little earlier there than here in Connecticut. So, yeah, anyway, let's get on with the fighting. So just to start, this was the convention or dealer area. I did record this pretty early on Sunday. It was way busier than this looks. This was a really cool Battle of Freeman's Farm Saratoga battle, using some incredibly well painted minis. I'm not sure what rule set the group was using, but I really did think as I was walking around that this really did catch my attention. It was a great looking game. One of the HMGS convention or on the East Coast staples is this huge table that is set up between some Romans and Celts or barbarians of some kind. It was a little shorter than normal, this table. It usually goes on forever, but they were doing some sort of or battle that involved hordes of barbarians charging up a hill. You can see you'll get the scale once I get to the other end, but it's always a joy. It always makes me smile seeing this table. I think they must play different scenarios, but it's always it's a show staple for me for sure. Yeah, I think you can see the scale here. Pretty cool. And now we've got, these are 54 mil models, I believe, for I believe some sort of War of Independence or Revolutionary War battle. I think they were using Carnage and Glory rules. I don't know if anyone's familiar with those. It's sort of a computer-generated rule set. I've heard good and bad things about it, but I know that the people that put it on, they have by far the best-looking set of tables at the convention. And my other favorite staple is the Test of Honor massive multiplayer game here that just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. And this game, I'm going to come and talk about this a little bit later. This was the Battle of Pydna, fought using Warhammer Ancient Battles rules. Ooh, don't those Macedonians look inspirational? Okay, Silver Bayonet. I'm on the fence about whether I like these rules, but this was probably one of my favorite looking tables. It was just so imaginative and pleasing on the eye. I know whoever put it together, really, this was a true labor of love. And I love there were like pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns everywhere. So I hope whoever played this game had a good time. I hope it was as fun as it looks, because this table was amazing. Ravenna, Pike and Shot. This again was a beautiful looking game, using I think a really well painted set of miniatures. I'm not sure what the miniatures are, but I certainly again this was very eye grabbing or attention grabbing. So colorful. We're having a good time. Now what I want to do is just move the skirmishers out to the end. Another great looking attention grabbing table. I love that water effect. Ooh, it looks like the town is on fire. Yeah, it's fun to just wander around and see all these tables, and when one grabs your eye, you gotta stop and look. Speaking of, this was a phenomenal looking setup. Again, there wasn't anybody around at the time for me to ask questions, but beautifully put together models and all of the boats. Very thematic, very unique. You're not going to see this at every convention. Just fascinating. I'd be curious to know what those rules are, what those charts are. I don't think I caught up on that. Here you can see the prelude to the bolt action tournament. It was very well supported this year. I sometimes play in it. I didn't this year, but it certainly looks, you can see everyone there getting the rules for the situation. And yeah, I just added this for grins. I know people complain about the walking around this place being extensive, but I just admire the plethora of flooring options that the casino resort has to offer. So yeah, I just did this for a hoop. Yeah, get some design inspiration for some casino carpeting. It's great. All right, so let's talk about this. I had the pleasure of playing a black powder game, refighting the Battle of Germantown during the War of Independence. I was fortunate to meet a great father and his young son. As we were the generals on one side. I'm playing against a group of great guys on the other side, and yeah, we just had a blast pulling this on. I don't think my side, we certainly didn't know what was really going on, what the objective was, or who was going on, but that's war, right? So it was a lot of fun putting that together. Okay, so the next part of the video is going to be kind of a little bit of a ramble, a bit of a free form walk through all the various things that I bought at Cold Wars 2023. I went with an initial plan. I didn't have any big idea to start a new army, a new project. I had a little list of things I wanted to fill in. I wanted some Pumas for my Flames of War late war Germans. I wanted to explore replacing some of my Normans for Saga. I wanted to explore looking at some of the Perry plastics for the AWI set. For the most part, that went out the window. But my first purchase, actually, this was probably the only pre-planned purchase, are these early Imperial Roman auxiliary archers. I don't know if, I know I posted about this somewhere, trying to identify some Roman archer models that I had in my existing Warhammer Ancient Battles army, and I'm pretty sure they're not, well, no, I'm certain they're not the same period of Rome or Roman progression that the rest of my army is. I think they're more kind of Caesarian. But anyway, so yeah, looking to replace them with these. So I'm glad I picked these up. I think you get 24 in the box, and from what I can tell on the website, they're great. I mean, they're great poses, and they look great painted, and you can really tell from the the pretty unique packaging that Victrix does that these are some really excellent sculpts. They've come such a long way. They were always good, but I just feel like they've done a tremendous job. I think they could very well be my favorite plastics out there. So anyway, that's the first part. Next, we're going to get into the more kind of run-of-the-mill stuff. I got my takeout box full of plastic, laser cut wooden bases, MDF bases. You can never have too many of these in too many shapes and sizes. But I specifically got a whole bunch of larger circular ones because I need to base my trees, my K&N trees. Whenever me and my friends play, they keep falling over. So I'm going to attach them to some of these bases. Glad to get that done. Other more, again, sort of run-of-the-mill stuff. I need some new clippers, so I was excited to finally find another pair of them. I'm quite picky about my clippers for what it's worth. Another paintbrush. I noticed, again, I'm not particularly loyal to any kind of brush range. I've got Games Workshop, I've got Army Painter, I've got Vallejo. Do I have Vallejo? I don't know. I can't really remember if they make paint brushes, but I know I've got a whole bunch. Games Workshop. But I do like this one. So I got that. And then let's see. Oh, over in the Wally's basement or the flea market that they have, I picked these up. I thought this was a steal. Just $2 a piece. Historical fiction, historical novels. I've heard of the author. I've never written or read any of his work. But I picked these up, and I believe, is it Macro and Cato are the characters, and I believe Warlord makes a model of them. So these have got to be a big deal if that's the case. But yeah, $2 a piece, you can't go wrong. So I thought I'd pick those up. Damn, now we're sticking with a Roman theme. Hold that thought, because as you probably saw from the preview, I'm hoping I'm shooting this after I've edited it or edited the rest of the video, but. The little clip in the video from the convention of the Battle of Pydna that I showed, the Warhammer Ancient Battle game, I can't stress enough. It just completely inspired me. And so let's see, I saw that on that Friday night, Friday evening, Friday night, went back to my hotel room. I'm frantically just reading all about the Battle of Pydna and trying to learn a little bit more about the period. And it's interesting. I've always had this, here, actually, not looking at my hands all the time. I've always had this issue, for want of a better word, with my Romans. And I know I'm talking somewhat in vagaries here, but the early Imperial Roman period, they don't seem to have a lot of opponents that they go up against other than various flavors of barbarians, be that Gauls or Celts or Dacians or Goths. It's all basically the same. There's certainly the same models. Let's put it that way. I know the units have got different flavors. But I wanted to explore. I've always been interested in exploring different other, classical, ancient warfare. But I just didn't have the right Roman period. And then the brainwave hit me. Well, why don't you get a different period of Romans? So I took the plunge and I dipped into getting some Republican Romans. So I got some cavalry here. Again, we went hard with Victrix. So I'm just gonna fly through these. And I don't know if I'm gonna get all of this project done. You can flip a coin when I buy projects en masse like this. Either I'll get it all done or I won't touch any of it. But I got some cavalry, and I got some infantry, basically. Rome's Legion of the Republic. And you get 60 models, I believe, in here. So using I'm totally planning. I'm going to use Warhammer Ancient Battles for this. At least as my core. I'd love to get up to Hail Caesar, but 60 in there, that's 3 units of 20, 3 good blocks of 20 that I'm looking to build. But you can't have infantry without someone to lead them, so I wandered over to Badger Games and picked up some Saga models. So I got a consul here, and who's on horse and one on foot. Now, in theory, I guess I could just build a Saga force to start with for these, using the Age of Hannibal, or I think the new Age of Alexander. I've been enjoying watching some videos on that lately. It's funny, subconsciously, I was just curiously watching these videos. But of course, you can't have these Romans without something for them to fight against. So I went deep with the Macedonians. So I picked up some, and I know I'm going to butcher these names, some Hypaspits, I think. So I got 24 of these. Interesting, they come in a smaller package than the other infantry. Then I got some Phalangites. I got 2 packets of these. You get 27. That's a random number, but okay. You get 27 of those in each pack. So we're gonna try to get those figured out. And then, yeah, we can't let the Romans have horses without their opponent. So I got some successor heavy cavalry as well. And again, I think these are some fantastic looking sculpts. Oh wait, but we're not done. Then splitting, I was told the guy working the store, I bought all of this stuff at my hobby place, except the medals, or the medals I've already shown you. And I didn't get the guy's name, but he was tremendously helpful and patient as I was humming and hawing over what I was gonna buy. But I picked up this set of Greek peltasts, javelin men and slingers, and I plan on kind of splitting these between both forces as various kinds of skirmishers and mercenaries that can be used. And then the absolutely unique thing for this period, or I say, maybe not just this period, but certainly unique for my collection, got some heffalumps. So, and you get 2 in this pack, which I think is cool. So I'm excited to put these together. I've never done anything like that. I never painted an elephant, but definitely want to get that done. And then, let's see, I got 2 packets of command for the Macedonians. I got these SPQR Royal Guard command, which were only $8. I think that's crazy for 3 figures.
and I believe they're resin. Yeah, they are 28 milliliter Warlord resin minis. So they're gonna look good leading the blocks of infantry. And then I got the big man himself, Alexander the Great, and Philip of Macedon. So again, I think these will act as my generals. And then, absolutely last but least, I got some new gold paint, just because I think I'm gonna need it. Or well, it's this says it's copper, but I guess it's sort of a bronzy sort of gold. I have to say, I've bought a few of these air metallics, or these air paints. I haven't bought the metallic. This is my first metallic one, but I bought some of these air paints, and I really do love them. They're not quite contrast paints, but they've got a fluidity to them that is a lot thinner than your typical acrylic paint. And I was using these a lot on my AWI miniatures for various kind of darker shades, and they really work well. So excited to try a metallic, and I think that will help us there. And on that note of AWI stuff, just to wrap things here, I finished the project. I'm not leaving that undone. I got all of the 2 24-point forces that I need for Rebels and Patriots to play both the British and the Continental or the Americans. They're all set down on the game table for me to just have a quick kind of solo game, just myself, to get a hang of the rules. Then I'm sure I'll post a video of them or some battle reports of them. So excited to get those on the table as well. So yeah, funny. I'm jumping from one project onto another, but I'm glad I got it finished. Anyway, all right. So yeah, stay tuned. I don't know when I'm going to get to all this. I think I need the weather to improve here in Connecticut before I go out spray painting anything or undercoating. Oh, for what it's worth, I'm gonna plan on contrast painting these. I just think there's so many, and I think with their cloaks and their gowns or whatever you want to call that, the cloth that they have, I think it will look pretty good with contrast. So yeah, watch this space, more to come, and thanks for watching.